A very good afternoon to you all. We are commemorating Ms. Jessie Duarte, the former Deputy Secretary General at the ANC, who passed away in the early hours of this morning. Now, as we continue paying homage and bringing live visuals of mourners arriving at the home of the late Deputy Secretary General, we are having our reporters who have been stationed across various points. Right now, we are at her home where Heidi Giokos is covering that part of us now. Let's go to her now and just get a sense. The President, Heidi Giokos, is expected to arrive shortly at the home of Jessie Duarte. You've been there for most of the morning. What kind of conversations have you been having about her legacy?
Rupiwa, unfortunately, I cannot hear you. I think the connection is rather bad here. But the visuals that we are showing you now is of Pule Mabe, who is the spokesperson of the ANC, as well as Tike Ngwiza. They have just arrived at the home of Jessie Duarte. We've seen a number of top ANC officials arriving. We saw Nosiviwe Mapisa Nkakula coming and arriving earlier on together with her husband. We've seen Paul Mashatile arrive. We've seen Ace Makashule arrive. And I think this is all an indication that any minute President will arrive. Let's perhaps move in our visuals might be a little shaky at this stage. See if we can go in and get a sense of what Pulemabe is saying.
It can't be an easy moment still when you look at the state of the organization and just how much she knew about the ins and outs of the African National Congress.
We're all hoping that the DSG was going to come back to work. When she left the office last year, she called us to the office to come have a brief meeting with her, Comrade Phoebe and Comrade Andres and Krish, to process certain organizational matters. And she had said that she has got a doctor's appointment at 2 o'clock on that day. It looked small. We thought that she would be coming to work the following day. And even as she was going through treatments, she would still make time to attend certain of our National Executive Committee meetings. I was personally hopeful that she will come to work. On Friday, her office requested that I do a video just sending a message of support. Still believed that she will come back. Dango, her brother, sent us a message even as she was being discharged from hospital that she's now going to go home and be in the care of the family. We still believed that she will come back. So we are here now, having received the sad news in the early hours of this morning that she did not win over this fight. The best we could do is to carry forward the legacy. She was an exemplary leader of the African National Congress, speaking for many others in the African National Congress who have really crossed paths with her. She encouraged us to always make sure that we put the ANC first. When I came in as spokesperson, and she had invited me to come and give me the news in 2018 that the National Working Committee had decided that I should take over that responsibility. I never thought that I would be able to push it over, yes. She made me realize that I'm not the spokesperson of individuals. I'm the spokesperson of the ANC. She made me understand that I could be able to carry a press briefing all by myself, brief the media on decisions of the ANC, even if I did not believe or subscribe to those views. It was when our Secretary General was, before they could step aside, initially, she made me understand that, look, you might have been supporting a slate that had Makashule as Secretary General come into this conference. But Now you are the spokesperson of the ANC. You have to speak for everyone in the organization. She gave me that kind of understanding. And for that, we will all remain indebted to her. She was an excellent communicator of the African National Congress. She was a spokesperson of the ANC at one point in her political life in our own organization. So we have lost greatly. If there were issues that I did not understand or know how to best articulate or deposit out in the media, I would take the time to speak to her so that she could be able to then give me the necessary guidance.
Our condolences to you. That's
Thank you so much for that, Pule Mabe. Let's perhaps move in. Home Affairs Minister
Motswaledi. Our condolences to you. Perhaps just tell us how you knew Jessie Duarte. How far back does your relationship go?
Oh, well, I can't count. It's more than 30 years, maybe towards 40 actually, because we've known each other for as long as we're in the struggle, right from the days of UDM, when I was a student activist. I'm sure you're aware that that's 40 years ago, and that's how far I've known Comrade Jessie. She was like a sister to me. I used to speak to her all the time whenever there is trouble, whenever I'm confused about something, the ANC. I'll phone her and say, DSG, we will send each other messages. Even now when he was sick, we'll send each other messages quite often. We're really hoping that he will come back and join us again. Unfortunately, that was not to be.
And I mean, this was a hard and long-fought fight against cancer. I mean, you were also health minister at some stage. I'm sure you'd know just how brutal cancer can be. At this moment, what are your reflections about the life that she led and the legacy that she leaves behind?
Well, especially the type of cancer she's having. It's a type of cancer that's really not forgiving. We know there are quite a number of cancers where we have got lots of people who are called to be survivors of that type of cancer. But this particular one, it was not to be. It is very heavy on us indeed.
All right, Minister, I'm going to let you go.
Thank you so much, Minister of Home Affairs, Motswaledi. Let's perhaps just try and see if we can get, let's just move over to the side where we can see if we can get TK Ngqiza, who is the Secretary General of the ANC in Gauteng. Let's just wait for him to perhaps finish on the SABC, and then we'll move over to him. But we do know that the President is arriving any time now. Ropios, it's a bit of pandemonium at this stage. There's just media everywhere, people arriving. So just excuse our shaky visuals at this stage. Maybe if we can just walk a bit forward, I can ask my colleague Kamu to just come forward so we can just be ready should the President arrive. But this is a clear indication that he should be arriving any time now. A number of top ANC officials have indeed arrived, as I mentioned earlier. So any minute the President should be arriving, and soon after that, the body of Jessie Duarte will be leaving the house. We are joined by TK Ngqiza. Thank you so much for your time. Let's just move this side because we are in the way. Thank you for joining us. Perhaps just your fondest memories and your relationship with the late Jessie Duarte.
She was our mother. She gave us love. She taught us a lot of things, but above all, she told us that we must always be focused and never, be scared to raise our views. But the issue of inclusion, she really emphasized it. ANC is not an organization of one race. It's an organization for all. And she was very, 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 very persistent, and she used to insist. But also the issue of women, the women leadership. She was a true activist who put her hands. But the fact that she was in the top 5 for more than 10 years or for 10 years, or top 6 for 10 years in the ANC, must tell you that she was indeed a very strong woman. But even when it was difficult, we'll go to her and say, Mama, what do we do when our elders are pushing us hard? He would say, but no one has ever said you'll get power for free. You fight for power. So, but she always taught us discipline. Whatever we do must be disciplined. So we are here to pay respect to a giant of our movement, Comrade Jessie Duarte.
Thank you so much, TK. We do appreciate it. Thank you. And we send you our condolences as well. I think everybody is feeling very heartbroken. Rupiwa, I'm going to move away because I do think that the president is arriving shortly. We are seeing his motorcade arriving and his entourage. We are being told to just move to the other side. So I think, but let's just stay this side. It's rather complicated, Rupiwa, because there are people absolutely everywhere. So it's very difficult for us to just find a spot. But it just seems as though the president is arriving at this stage. Here is his entourage. Perhaps we could just take these visuals in at this stage. I think it's important to highlight, Rupiwa, the fact that there has been a state category 2 funeral for the late Jessie Duarte, and we do know that according to Muslim rituals, let's just perhaps just listen in. The president has just arrived.
Mina vanipfushe hi-2 mara anizange anisenhlele Chair. Okay. Sad moment.
Indeed.
Yeah, sad moment.
Famba kuna room la nga kona sweswi na loko fika kona fane
umasatatula
na kona bakari ba endla ti Muslim ritual ta bona ba di paswana famba ya
yeah, I saw.
Ngamangali no shele sumali.
No, aningahleketi ku ri mi hatisasekisi. Mi tshama mi sasekile wena Steve.
All right, Ayanda, this is where our journey starts.
Okay, there we cannot go further in Rupiwa Matsena. I'm not sure if you can still hear me. There's a lot going on at this stage, but as you can see, the president is inside the home of Jessie Duarte. Of course, Paul Mashatile, together with Panyaza Lesufi and a number of other ANC officials, welcoming the president in and just perhaps briefing him slightly about what is going to happen moving forward. We are showing you the visuals now of a number of ANC officials walking in. Family, of course, here, and of course, ANC officials. I'm emphasizing this because of the role that Jessie Duarte played, Deputy Secretary General, and just an ANC stalwart, playing a huge role in many people's lives, being a mentor, providing that necessary support and leadership. You heard what TK Niza was indicating. He said that when they used to go to Jessie Duarte and they used to say, you know, Mama, people are being so hard on us, the elders are being so hard on us, and she would say, well, that's the way it's done. So she provided a real supporting role to many, and I think also the role of a woman within the ANC. When we spoke to NEC member Nombolo Mokonyane earlier on, she was completely distraught, indicating how she's now gone, and she was the woman within the ANC that provided that oversight role and that very important role of a woman within the ANC. So I think everybody's just remembering how vital she was, what a fighter she was, and I think that's something that a lot of us, even as the media, remember her as. Always fighting, always standing up for what is right, and sometimes even correcting the media many times and saying, this is not how it's done, this is not the way things work, and you know, having small arguments with the media. But I think that's how a lot of people will remember her, being that fighter and standing up for what is right always.
Moments where you get
Important conversations happening earlier about her legacy, as you've just rightly put it, a fighter, someone who was resolute, had courage. You know, she may have been small in stature, but she definitely was quite the giant pre-democracy and, of course, post-democracy. One thing that was interesting that was said, Heidi, and I wonder if you want to weigh in on this, is that she passed on at a very difficult time within the African National Congress. Pule Mabe indicating at a press briefing earlier before they arrived at her home this morning, saying this is the time they needed her the most. You know, from the time she said she was exhausted after the November 1 elections and she needed to rest, and then she just never came back. She got gravely ill. He said they always hoped that she would come back, but also the ANC is in such a difficult position at the moment. This is the time when they would have needed her guidance the most to unify the ANC, but to also give it a fighting chance at the 2024 elections.
Rapio, my line is cutting to you, so I'm not sure if you're still speaking, so I hope I'm not speaking over you. But a very important point that you touch on there, and we do know that suspended Secretary General Ace Magashule, when he arrived a little earlier on, he was asked that very same question, that you know, the death of Jessie Duarte comes at a very difficult time for the African National Congress because of what's currently at play, and the politics at play there, and the tension that's at play within the African National Congress. What's interesting is that Ace Magashule is currently inside the home of Jessie Duarte, and the president has just walked in now as well. So the role that it seems as though she played was that of unifying everybody, and despite the fact that there was a lot going on within the ANC, it seems as though she was the one that brought everybody together. So it does come at a very difficult time. I don't think there's any time that's easy for anybody of such somebody of such stature and such importance passing on. It's going to be difficult at any stage, but it's particularly difficult now for the ANC because of what's currently going on. And when we spoke to Ace Magashule earlier on, we asked him, you know, what's the way forward now, because we do know that you were particularly close to Jessie Duarte, and he said she was the one that was trying to unify all of us and trying to get us all into one room to have a discussion. And he even went on to speak about how there were meetings, and he said, I can't speak about the secrets because the secrets must go to the grave, but he said there were moments where they would want to meet with former President Jacob Zuma, and that the ANC should never be in a position that completely you know, isolates any ANC member. They should all be united as one, despite different views or decisions or whatever else was at play. So definitely it's going to be felt. Almost every single person that we've spoken to that's come to the house of Jessie Duarte has indicated how she was a unifier, how she had that courage, how she spoke truth and said it as it was. You know, she didn't have time to buy anyone's face. She was there to speak facts, and whether people like that or not, that's what she was known for, to be that voice in the room that everybody would want to listen to, because they know that she would speak the truth, despite the fact what anyone else would think. So definitely it's going to be felt in the ANC, and I think everybody is already feeling it. Everybody is completely distraught. We saw the ANC Women's League leader, Batabile Dlamini, coming in. She did not even greet the media. She just walked straight in. You can see she is completely distraught and not okay. Nomvula Mokonyane as well. A number of other ANC officials have walked in and just really not coping. People thought that Jessie Duarte would really win this fight, and just the battle of cancer unfortunately took over.
Absolutely, Heidi. I'm going to allow you to continue engaging those that are in attendance, and we'll catch up with you when the family, friends, comrades start to make their way to West Park Cemetery.